Hi, it's Angie Rice and Janet Savinova. We are the co-founders of Centered CEO, and we welcome you to We Are Centered CEOs. We created this community to really provide an opportunity for small business owners to collaborate with other small business owners, and we're here to really focus on ways that we can add value to your business so that you can reach your true potential.
We're super glad to be here, and today we're going to talk about something that Angie and I are really passionate about, and that is creating core values in your business and using a manifesto for your business to emulate the values that you have in your business and to share who you are, what you do, and how you're different and unique with the world and your potential customers, as well as with your team. So brand manifestos are a lot of fun, and they make coming up with core values, creating your core values, and really breaking them down, I think, much more engaging and much more interesting. So this is something that really appeals to me because I'm a creative person, and I love the idea of, sitting down with my team, sitting down with Angie, and really dissecting who we are, what we stand for, and why it matters. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, all of us want to have a business that creates impact, that services clients, and that has a greater reach than just ourselves. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, we are passionate about what we do. We are usually experts in our industry. We love to serve. We love to connect. We love to engage with the community that we serve and with one another. And being an entrepreneur can be a pretty lonely journey. So that's one of the things that we really want to address and help other entrepreneurs overcome, is that loneliness, and also help you get your message out to the world. So first, we talk a lot about identifying your zone of genius, creating your market dominating position, and figuring out exactly who you are, and then figuring out who you serve. But part of figuring out who you are is also figuring out what you stand for. And in order to figure out what you stand for, you need to have a set of core values, which are really the glue that hold your company together. And when a company is starting out, maybe you're just a solopreneur, or maybe you just have a few team members, it doesn't really feel necessary to have, clearly established core values, because you feel like, I know who I am. My one or two team members knows who I am. Why do I need to write these things down? Well, the goal for most businesses is to grow and to expand. And the goal is to reach and serve more clients as you grow and expand. So as you're growing and expanding, it's really important to have something that binds you together and that really ties your team with these core values, with something that everyone gets on board with and believes in and is passionate about.
And as Janet mentioned, the process of creating your core values is really a great opportunity to offer an opportunity to engage you and your employees, if you have employees. And if you don't have employees, this is an opportunity to reach out to your network to allow people to share their insight as well. And I'm less of a creative person in comparison to Janet, but I feel that we all have a responsibility to dive deep and find that connection with our thoughts and our reasons for why we do what we do. And when you identify your core values, it really helps to look at this as a process, not a process that interferes with the creativity, but a process in terms of really, spend some time on it. I know when Janet and I wrote our core values for Centered CEOs, it's not something we did overnight. It's not something we did in a week. It's something that's really been evolving over the course of time. And there's nothing that says that you can't add to your core values or change the core values or altogether eliminate a core value and change it to something else, because life evolves, businesses evolves. And I know Janet and I really, what really created a great opportunity for us when we were defining our core values was to recognize the strengths of ourselves as individuals and the strengths that we bring our clients, the people that we serve collectively. So it's important to identify core values that resonate with team members and the different disciplines within your business, and the outreach that you provide your clients externally, as well as the core values play not only a big role in creating a community externally, but it plays a big role in creating that internal culture that allows you to feel like a family, that allows your employees to have a deeper connection with you. And when things are tough or things are more challenging at work, they're willing to give more of themselves because they resonate with the values that were created with the business. And I highly recommend that in a team environment that your team is involved in creating the core values as well.
So thank you guys who are watching us. Please drop us comments, questions, likes, and emoji if you're following along with what we're saying. We really want this to be interactive, and we also really want to provide a lot of value. So, just going back to basics for a second, I think in business, there's a lot of terminology that gets thrown around, and we don't always necessarily all know what that terminology really means. And I think that there's certain terminology like core values, mission statements, value statements become just generic. They become platitudes. They become things like almost like slang that people just use without necessarily understanding exactly what they mean. So core values, the point of core values and the point of having core values is to help business owners create a healthy and encouraging work environment and a positive company culture. Because when your employees or your team members feel like they're part of a team, truly a team, their performance improves. They feel happier going to work. They're invested in the success of their company and likelier to develop innovative and creative ideas. They're also much likelier to work diligently, to want to meet deadlines or exceed deadlines. And then when times are tough, they're likely to comply with, cost-cutting measures. So it's really, really important to have these core values that bind everyone together. And the concept of core values came about, it's been around for a long time, but was really brought to the mainstream in 1994 when James Collins and Jerry Porras published a book called Built to Last: Successful Habits of Visionary Companies. And in this book, it's a very famous book. If you haven't read it, you should definitely add it to your Amazon cart. They talked about the fact that they believe that the world's best organizations followed a set of guiding principles, and they called these guiding principles core ideology. And the core ideology, according to Collins and Porras, was two parts: core values and core purpose. The core values are the guiding principles that a company operates by. And a good example of core values would be Disney. So Disney's core values are imagination and wholesomeness. And then Disney's aim is making people happy. So their aim of making people happy goes along with their core value of imagination and wholesomeness. It all ties together. It makes sense. People who work at Disney believe in wanting to make people happy. People who, are characters in Disney theme parks, people who operate the rides. It all goes together. It's imagination, it's wholesomeness, it's family. So you want to make sure that the core values in your company align with your brand and align with who you are, and also align with the people that you work with and the people that you want to serve. So you have to articulate your core values very, very thoughtfully, and they should represent what you stand for and also incite a commitment to a greater good, because any great business is going to have a commitment to a greater good, to something bigger than itself, bigger than any one person in that company. And again, even if you're just a solopreneur, ask yourself, why are you in business? Why are you running a business? Why did you start your business? Why are you doing what you do? And for most of us, the answer is because I want to make an impact, because I want to give back, because I want to service clients, because I have a talent that I want to share with the world, right? Ideas that I want to share with the world. And then as your business grows and you bring in new talent, your core values are kind of like a bridge, and they unite your team members, they unite the leadership, they unite your clients, and they make everyone kind of like a happy family, for lack of a better term.
And in really getting to how you create and come up with your core values, there's some really easy exercises that you can implement to really help get to your core values. If you don't have well-defined core values, you probably have core values. The question is, have you put them to writing where they become part of your overall message? Because part of implementing your core values is that repeat. It's that resignation. Your clients should know your core values because that should be part of your messaging. Your team members should really have synergies that are built around your core values. So think about the pain points that you solve for your clients. Start with the pain points. Take those pain points and come up with a solution. And in that process, as you solve the pain points with solutions, the solutions is how you create value for the clients you serve. And that is a really good exercise to start identifying truly what are your core values. God bless you, Janet. So I think it would help also to, we've kind of talked about some of the benefits of the core values, but I'd like to share some of the core values within Centered CEOs and how Janet and I came up with those core values, what they mean to us, and how they help identify to our audience ways that we can solve their pain points. Janet, are you able to pull up our mantra on the screen?
Oh, I didn't know I was.
I think you should.
Okay. Hang on. I'm going to put myself on mute while I pull it up and let Angie just talk.
So this was an exercise back and forth, and there were some examples of core values. We really tried to make it a creative process, and it went on for, several months. And then we finally came to a week and said, let's really nail down what we want our core values to be. And sometimes we started with an adjective or an expression, and that expression allowed us to really build a framework for that particular core value. So, some resonated more with Janet, some resonated more with me, some really identified exactly how we synergize together. But I think it's always important within a business to understand the sum of the parts and how there are going to be some core values that, because we're solving problems, and if it was easy to solve problems, we wouldn't have problems in the first place. So I think recognizing that some of your core values are going to be very challenging for you, and also challenging for the people that you serve. And that's what allows you to really create an expertise and a uniqueness that allows you to create that market domination. So, Janet, do you have our core values up? Just about? Okay. So we have a good 10 or so core values. Here we go. And like I shared, we really started with what are the pain points of the people that we serve. As you know, we serve small business owners. And we really wanted to come up with solutions and a way to really, one of the benefits of having your core values shared and in alliance with how you serve your community is that it really helps to identify who you can serve, and it really ultimately can create movements within your communities, a movement within how your team operates, a movement between how your team engages with your clients and the people you serve. And then it goes to create a larger external community as well. Janet, pick one that resonates most with you.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I have them in Word document because I can't figure out how to put them up in a picture format. So, hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so let's go through kind of a few of these. So our first value, if you can see kind of in the corner, is give generously every day. That is something that Angie and I kind of really believe in, and that's really how we live our life. Our whole goal in life is to give and to serve others. And the way we have done that has shifted and varied and evolved over the course of our careers. So my background is in healthcare, and I worked in as a nurse practitioner for over a decade in the pain management industry. And so I gave to my patients. I gave treatment, I gave comfort, I gave care. As we started our first and second businesses, the goal has shifted to giving to our clients and to giving to our team members and also to giving to each other. So this is something, again, that's really, really important because we believe that you get a lot more from the world and from the people in your life when you give than when you take. So that's one of my favorites, and one of our big ones is give generously every day. And then I'll go with my second one too, which is educate, inspire, and engage. And again, guys, these are not just platitudes. Every single word on this page is something that has deep personal meaning to Angie and I, and something that we really strive to live by every single day. So this is not something that we just opened up the dictionary, picked some platitude words, customer service, integrity, honesty, blah, blah, blah. These are things that we really sat down and thought long and hard about. So educate, inspire, and engage. We want to educate our clients and educate other small business owners. We want to inspire people to become the very best version of themselves because we believe that all of us have incredible untapped potential. And the reason that a lot of our potential is untapped is because we haven't given ourselves the opportunity to fully express it. And we don't always have the right people in our lives who we feel like believe in us and inspire us to become the best version of ourselves. And so that's something that we really want to provide to our clients as well, is we want to inspire them. So we want to educate them that they can become, that they have incredible untapped potential, inspire them to become these incredible best versions of themselves so that they could service more clients, so they could impact more people, so they could change more lives, and then engage. We want to encourage people to engage with one another, to engage with their community, to engage with their customers, and to engage with their team. So those are my first two, and then I'll let Angie take the next one.
All right. Well, I'm going to choose one that I know Janet and I had a lot of back and forth when we were creating this core value, and that's we are innovators, rule breakers, and value creators. I think Janet tends to break more rules than I do. Am I right, Janet? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
But I think that it was important for me to allow the ability to say things have to be broken. We have to break rules. Sometimes we have to move in a different direction. Sometimes it's okay to be different, and it's okay to recognize that you got to make decisions to really have a lot of impact and to create value for other people, the people that you serve. You sometimes have to go about it differently. And sometimes I struggle with that. And it puts us sometimes in that gray area. Is this the right thing to do? And I think if your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your purpose and your reason for creating that opportunity and doing so in an innovative way, then the outcome is going to speak for itself. You will be adding such tremendous value. Whatever pitfalls you experience during that time frame where you're questioning, is this the right thing to do? Am I going against, what everyone else is telling me I should do, or the direction I should take? And sometimes that's where we reach our most the highlights of our success. It comes when we're willing to deal with adversity and we're willing to stand alone in order to make decisions that we know are the right decision for our companies, as well as for getting the results that we want. I think that it's also really important to know, as you establish core values, and I'm going to refer to one of our core values that simply states, core values are a compass. And I think that is important for Janet and I to recognize that our business is evolving. We're really unique. We've worked with other coaches and consultants. We've shared our story on different platforms, and we find that our uniqueness truly is tied to the fact that Janet has a background and expertise in medicine and in mindfulness, whereas my background is more on the forensics side as well as more analytics. And I think that combining those skill sets, while it can be challenging sometimes, it truly is what allows us to service our clients in a very different capacity than if we were servicing our clients individually or separate from our collaborative partnership. And knowing that we're bringing a very unique service, it's not as common to have someone with a background in medicine and someone with a background in accounting consulting with small business owners. And I think obviously our shared understanding of what it's like to launch a business, to start a business, run a business, grow a business, all of that is added value to the clients we serve. But I think it's important that we recognize that there's a compass and we got to be willing to take different directions. We have to be willing to evolve as business evolves, as our depth of experience changes and how we grow collectively. And as we bring team members on to help consult with our clients, that it's important to understand there might be shifts in our core values. Our ideal clients might ultimately move in a different direction. And we're okay with that because we recognize that in time, as you develop your expertise, your niche becomes more defined. So I think it's important to recognize that it's okay for you to have core values that evolve with you. I mean, it's going to allow you to grow and scale and be able to reach new heights because you're willing to take different directions.
Okay, so the next one I'll take is, I mean, I love all of these. Obviously, we wrote them, but so what does it mean? We build businesses forged from passion and driven by purpose. And I remember when Angie and I sat down and wrote these words. Again, every single word on this page is something that we really thought about and resonated with us and something that we really believe in. So we build businesses. So what this means is our goal is to help small business owners who are passionate and expert about their expertise in their industry or their field. So whether that expertise is in functional medicine or in nursing or in wellness coaching or in travel, whatever the expertise is, it comes with really deep passion and love for the industry that the person is in and driven by purpose. So every business owner that we want to work with has a deeper purpose than just making money or getting a paycheck or signing the most clients and, having the most dollars in the bank. Of course, it's important to run a profitable business. That is literally number 3 in our maps and our framework: mindful, assertive, profitable, and sustainable. We 100% want to help business owners run a profitable business, but we believe one of the most important paths to profitability is passion and purpose. Because when you are passionate about the industry that you're in and the services that you're providing, and you feel a calling to a greater purpose, your clients are going to be naturally and magnetically drawn to you and want to work with you, and they're going to be much more loyal to your brand than they would be to somebody who is in it just to get a paycheck or make a quick buck. So that's our goal, is to build businesses forged from passion and driven by purpose. And along those lines, we believe that obstacles are stepping stones. And this is a line that I love. And my daughter, actually, she's 10 years old. She uses it almost every day. She says it. She read it and likes it so much. She wrote it in her journal. Obstacles are stepping stones. All of us are going to face obstacles. And what I hate more than anything in the world is these fake stories that we see on Facebook ads and Instagram ads and these beautiful curated lives with people pretending that they built their business in 30 days from 0 to 7 figures and never had to work more than 3 hours a day in their life and never faced any obstacles, and they have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody built their business overnight without incredible effort, perseverance, grit, and sacrifice. And nobody who's ever become successful didn't overcome a tremendous amount of obstacles. But on the flip side, obstacles are stepping stones to opportunities. If you don't overcome obstacles, you don't develop resilience. If you don't overcome obstacles, you don't have learning opportunities. If you never have an unhappy client who yells and screams into the phone at you, you never learn how to deal with conflict or unhappy customers. So you have to use those experiences to grow your business and to mature and develop processes and procedures that will prevent future obstacles from happening. So those are 2 that I also really, really like.
Well, leveraging your talents, we talk about this a lot. And I think this is really how a company can really go next level. If you elevate your expertise and you leverage it through delegation and replication, you are able to then service more people. And how do you truly leverage your talents? I think part of that is really understanding your talent, knowing how to hone those skill sets over time as things evolve. But it's also recognizing where you lack talent. I think sometimes we focus too much on our expertise and we don't necessarily recognize the talents that are necessary to run a successful business. So when you don't have those talents, you have to really bridge the gap between not having that talent, bringing that talent to your business, and growing a level of understanding that's strong enough for you to make business decisions in that area as it relates to that area of weakness. So I think it's really important that you leverage your talents by truly understanding your strengths and weaknesses. And you can really learn a lot from your strengths, and you can learn a lot about your weakness in terms of the best direction for your company and how to grow your business and do so in a way that's well supported by others. And I would say for another one that I really want to touch on is our core value that states more, move more, stress less, and breathe deeper. I think it's very easy when your business is at a high point where it's requiring a lot of your attention to lose sight of everything else that's around you. And our purpose is in our business is obviously driven by external factors, supporting others, being able to provide opportunities for your family and for your community, and a better life for yourself, where outside of work you're fulfilled. So it's important to be fulfilled in your business, but it's also important to be fulfilled outside your business. And I find myself, I always tell Janet, when I've had some of my less successful days are when I say, oh, I didn't leave my chair. So I think it's really important that we work hard, but we do so in a way that allows us to get up, to create movement, to eliminate stress, and to breathe deeper. So when you find yourself having those days where you're not taking the break from your work, which actually that downtime and those breaks and those movement is probably going to increase your productivity. But if you allow too much time to be hyper focused in getting your work done in a day, the next day that you've made that mistake and you've got to correct for it. And if you see those vicious cycles happening over and over again, where you're not taking vacation, you're creating a culture within your company where your employees fear taking vacation, you can easily go down that rabbit hole of creating a negative culture because you're overworking your people and you're not allowing them to feel that it's important to have a balanced life, both when they're working and outside of their work. So movement, eliminating stress, taking a deep breath, and taking care of you and making time for yourself so that you can be more productive in your business is key.
We're jumping around, so I feel like I'm going to miss something, or cover something twice. But obviously, Angie and I are really passionate about all of these. So what else do we want to talk about? I mean, some of these are very common sense, but they're also deeply personal to us. So whatever meaning you see, words are just words without intention. All of these words have a lot of intention for Angie and I, and were written with intention. So another one that I really love is, the world is ready for your story. A clear message is a magnetic force. And this core value actually was the result of two separate things that Angie and I each wrote, that neither one of them quite captured what we wanted to say. And then we combined them together and are like, this is it. This is exactly what we want. So we believe that every single person on the planet has a story. And in our travel company, on our blog, we started a movement called Voices of Women, where we wanted to meet women from around the world. Obviously, that's a little bit on hold right now, who may have not had an opportunity to have their voices be heard, and give them a platform to tell their story. We believe, again, every person on the planet has a story. And whether you're ready to share your story now or whether you want to wait years to share your story, at some point, we believe it's very healing and beneficial to get your story heard, because you never know how many other people are going to be touched, moved, inspired, or had their life be changed by one single story, by your story. So holding your story in because you feel like maybe it's not that interesting or not that exciting or not worth telling, or maybe it's embarrassing, is not only doing yourself a disservice because you're not sharing your true authentic self with the world, but it's also a disservice to all of the people in the world who you may be able to impact that will never be able to get to know you if you don't share your story. So one of the things that we love to do with business owners is to help them have their story heard. And you can call that PR, you can call that marketing, but for us, it's deeply, deeply personal, because the story is not a varnished, polished, curated version of this perfect image of who you are as a business owner, as a mother, as a father, as a spouse, as a friend, as a leader in your community. It's the truth of who you are as an individual, which includes pain, which includes suffering, which includes overcoming obstacles, which includes really the truth of what it means to be human and how to overcome all of those things, rise above them, and achieve greatness and success. Those are the stories that resonate with us because those are the stories that are authentic. So a clear message is a magnetic force, meaning whatever message you feel compelled to share with the world is the right message, because there are billions of people in the world, and somewhere out there, someone is ready to hear your story and be changed by your story. So that's one of our things that we really want to help people do, is to tell their story. And we feel like business owners are just, entrepreneurs are risk takers. I think that's on there. Take calculated risks. Yep. So entrepreneurs are risk takers. We sacrifice a lot. We take a lot of risks. We believe the risks should be calculated and well thought out, but taking a risk is okay. It's part of the entrepreneurial journey. It's part of the fun. And without risks, you're never going to know what your ultimate potential is. So take calculated risks and take the risk to tell your story when you're ready, in the setting that you might or might not be ready for, and see what happens.
And telling stories really provides an opportunity for you to create a personal experience. When you personalize something, it creates more meaning, more authenticity, and it builds trust between you and the listener. And I think that we also, as business owners, have the opportunity to listen to other people's stories. So I think when Janet and I work with our clients, it's really important for us to know their story in order to know how we can best relate to them and support them. And your story is what people remember. People remember your story. They don't remember the facts about you necessarily. They remember your story. So it's important to share that story and be vulnerable. It's important to be you. We don't always get to control our story. Our story sometimes it's part of our environment. It's a part of who we are, how we were born, where we were raised, the obstacles that we experienced, whether they were by choice or whether they were unavoidable. I think it's important to be able to create relatability. And a lot of business owners are able to service their clients more authentically by sharing their story and being open and honest. So if you're in a business where you have the opportunity to service people, and it's important for you to share your connection. So if you're a business owner that's helped women combat having been in abusive relationships and you've personally experienced abuse, it's really important for you to be able to open up and share that personal story, because it's going to create connection and it's going to allow you to better service your community, because it's going to allow them to know, hey, I've been there before. You've been there before. People want to work with people who can truly identify and relate to the experiences that they're going through. And if you have, and maybe your story isn't that you've necessarily gone through the exact same experience as your client, but you obviously work in a field where you're exposed to your expertise is servicing those clients and creating solutions. So you definitely want to personalize how it is that you are able to service your clients. What makes you truly different from somebody else? And certainly as we service small business owners, that being our niche, I'll go back to the obstacles or stepping stones. It's important for us to acknowledge to our clients that we're going to face obstacles, but we're determined to face those obstacles, to learn from those obstacles, to be challenged. I think being challenged allows you to overcome hurdles much quicker and to be able to learn and identify how you can avoid bigger obstacles by taking things one step at a time and being able to evaluate and be more predictable in determining how you take that next step in your life and in your business. And I think sharing your core values, sharing your message allows you to reinforce to your community that your core values are who you are. So when you happen to see a disconnect between a core value and who you serve and who you are, again, that's an opportunity to revisit that compass to make sure you're going in the right direction.
Yes, I love it. So what else do we have on here? I think the two last ones that obviously are meaningful to us is impact leads to income and purpose leads to profits. What does that mean? Again, we help small business owners elevate their business, delegate responsibilities, and replicate successful outcomes. Part of successful outcomes is creating a profit stream. We always say, if you don't have a profitable business, you have a very expensive hobby. Again, if you don't have a profitable business, you have a very expensive hobby. How do you create a profitable business? We believe the best way to create a profitable business is by creating impact in your community, impacting the clients that you serve, having a greater impact on the lives of the people that you interact with than your competition, doing it for the right reasons, and being fully open to servicing others and having a greater purpose. Purpose leads to profits. Again, if your goal in life and in your business is to have an impact on as many clients as possible and to change lives and to improve people's lives through whatever service that you offer, you have a greater purpose. And if you have a greater purpose, that will resonate, that will create loyalty, that will help you build brand ambassadors. And guess what? Loyalty, brand ambassadors, repeat clients, word of mouth, know, like, and trust helps you create profitability because it opens up enormous amounts of revenue streams and a lot of revenue potential. And the final one, and I don't know if Angie, you want to take it, but this is one of our absolute favorites, is to leave a legacy.
To leave a legacy. Yeah, I think that when Janet and I make decisions, we make decisions knowing that what is the compounding effect of this decision? How can we make a decision today that is going to continue day in and day out to provide value? So I think it's easy to get caught up in short-term progress versus looking at the long-term horizon. A perfect example for small business owners is to determine what investments are you going to make in your business today. Those investments might seem like large investments in a short period of time, but if you look over a longer term trajectory, you're going to see that the value is compounded over time. So making investments in your business today could have a huge impact on where your business may be 2 years from now or 5 years from now. So a perfect example, during the pandemic, some companies decided to be complacent, to be able to say, okay, it is what it is. I'm going to pause my business. I'm going to see losses. Whereas other businesses looked for ways to diversify, and in some cases, even to increase their business by either making more of an appearance, getting their message out there, being creative, or in some cases, looking for opportunities to invest cash in their business. With interest rates being low, some people recognize that if they made investments in their business now, that it would be able to pay off in the long term. And if you think of small differences today, a company that decided to accept a 20% decline in business during the pandemic versus somebody who forged ahead and was able to grow by 5%, that compound effect of that 5% is going to better position themselves for 2022, 23, and 24 and 25. It's much easier to grow, from a year where you might have, a 5% might have been tough, but all of the things that you did in that business to generate that 5% growth during a pandemic that we've not seen before is going to make you better positioned to see a 20% growth in your business versus somebody who paused their business, accepted a 30% decline. Now they're going to have to make up that 30% decline to get back to where they were before they even get to increasing their revenue or their profit. So sometimes when we look at situations, it might not be about growing your business. It might be about, how do I avoid a loss? How do I keep my business stagnant so that I'm prepared to grow long term? Yeah, I also want to touch on the creative movement. That was one of our other core values. And
I was going to say some more about leaving a legacy. So hold on, let me jump in there for a minute. So Angie talks a lot about the finances of leaving a legacy by growing your business, creating profit streams. So for us, again, we're two different people. So sometimes the same core value means very different things to us, because I take it from a much more philosophical perspective. What does it mean to leave a legacy? And to me, leaving a legacy means that you have built a business that has created a massive impact, whether that's on one person's life, 20 people's lives, 20,000 people's lives, whatever it is, that you have left a legacy behind, so that when you are no longer here, or when you have sold your business, or you have moved on to something else, your business, the value that your business created, it outlasts you. So the value that your business provided to the world, the stories that you shared, the clients that you serviced, the lives that you changed or impacted are going to have effects that outlast the number of years that you are physically working in your business. That's what leaving a legacy means to me. So it's a much more philosophical concept, but it really is so important to me to be able to say that that's one of my personal objectives in life, is to be able to say that whatever it is that I've done is going to leave a legacy behind, and it's going to leave memories of me behind that are impactful, that are meaningful. So I believe we should all strive to build businesses that create legacies.
And people run businesses, of course, but I think it's important that you recognize when you create a brand, you allow your business to be ongoing, even if you are no longer a piece of the puzzle. So you've created a legacy in the sense that businesses are run by people, and you're able to provide that sustainability, and the business becomes more than just who is the business owner. It becomes more about the business as a standalone, and your core values is going to be the bridge that allows you to create that legacy. It takes the business and brings it to a level where it can be self-identifying. So a perfect example is when you have a business with multiple partners or owners, like Janet and I. Like, it is our goal to create a business that we identify with, that we can say this business has values that resonate with us. But at the same time, it's important for us to allow the business to evolve and take a direction of its own, as long as those core values continue to be aligned with our belief systems and our integrity and our mission, and how we really go about our day and go about life. And I think lastly, creating a movement. And Jenna and I, when we started Centered CEOs and we launched We Are Centered CEOs as a community, we really wanted to give insight to as many business owners as possible. So creating a movement for us is we want to help businesses on different scales, whether it's someone who we're working with on a one-on-one basis, or they're part of our group program, or we service them through the retreats that we offer through Boutique Travel Advisors and our collaboration with Centered CEOs, or whether it's you are an active participant in this group. We really want to serve 10,000 business owners. And whether that's through our Facebook community or working with you directly.
So thank you so much. We hope that this was helpful. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and like and comment and share. Please, if you're watching us in our group, then invite people to the group, because this group will only be as successful as all of us are together and as the members in this group are. So please contribute and invite and share. She just muted herself.
Sorry. We shared a lot of our core values with the community day. We highly, highly recommend that you share at least one of your core values in the comment. We want to learn more about you. We want to learn more about your core values and how you create your foundation for your business. So please, I highly encourage that you share in the comments one of your core values. Thank you.